Hey there and welcome. Today we're pulling out a map, but it's not a map of any land or sea you've ever seen. We're going to be charting a course through what we're calling the Soul's Atlas, exploring one of the deepest ideas humanity has ever grappled with. You've probably heard this amazing line from the great Carl Sagan, "We are made of ancient light." He was reminding us that, every single atom in our bodies was forged in the fiery heart of a star billions of years ago. We are literally stardust. It's just mind-blowing stuff. And that brings us to the huge question we're tackling today. What if the same thing is true for your soul? What if our consciousness, our very essence, is also a kind of ancient light on its own incredible journey through time? So let's dive into the first region of our map. This card is all about consequences, the ripples we leave behind. Do our choices, the good and the bad, do they just vanish, or do they actually echo on, long after we're gone? I mean, this is a huge question, right? Thinkers and spiritual leaders have been wrestling with this for thousands of years. Are our actions written in sand, or are they carved into stone? Let's look at a few really powerful ideas about how our choices might just be indestructible. So get this, the Buddha's take on karma, it kind of flips the whole idea on its head. He says it's not some cosmic judge handing out rewards and punishments. No, it's more like a law of physics for the soul. An action creates a pattern, a memory, that gets written right into the fabric of the universe. The ripple just keeps going. And then you have someone like Tolstoy, who takes this massive cosmic idea and just brings it right down to earth. He's saying that the smallest, most personal acts of goodness, things nobody will ever see or record, can actually have a permanence that outlasts the biggest, grandest empires. Wow. And then Martin Luther King Jr. comes in with this incredibly powerful point. He adds this layer of our own responsibility. See, the universe doesn't just drift towards justice on its own. It bends because we pull it. Our hands, our choices, our courage, that's the force that shapes the moral direction for everyone who comes after us. Okay, so if our actions leave these ripples, who's the one throwing the stone? Let's journey to the next region of our map and explore the traveler itself, the soul that's moving through all these different lives. But this is probably the question you've been thinking, right? It's the most common one about reincarnation. If we've been here before, what's the deal with the total amnesia? Why do we get a clean slate every time? Well, the answers are pretty fascinating. It really seems to boil down to two big ideas. On one hand, is this forgetting a kind of divine kindness, a gift? Or on the other hand, is it a straight-up psychological necessity, something we need just to stay sane? Let's take Rumi, the poet from the 13th century. He had this beautiful idea that forgetting is a mercy. I mean, just imagine carrying the weight of every single mistake, every heartbreak, every trauma from all of your past lives. He believed forgetting is what makes it possible to get up again, to forgive, to have a fresh start. But then you have a totally different take from the psychologist Carl Jung. He saw it from another angle. He basically argued that our conscious mind, our ego, it's just not built for that much data. That veil of forgetfulness isn't a gift, it's more like a psychic firewall, protecting us from being completely overwhelmed. So, what's the whole point of all this? This cycle of forgetting, relearning, is it just a cosmic treadmill? Well, Paramahansa Yogananda put it in a really beautiful way. It's not a punishment, he said. It's a school. It's the curriculum of love, where each life is a new class designed to help us wake up. Okay, but that brings up another huge question, doesn't it? If the brain dies and the memories get wiped clean, how could a soul possibly remember anything? So this next territory on our map explores this wild idea of memory that exists beyond the mind. Here's a fascinating thought. What if creativity, what if art, music, stories, isn't about inventing something new from scratch at all? What if it's actually an act of remembering, a way for the soul to tap into memories the conscious mind can't reach? And you see this idea pop up everywhere. You have Beethoven, who felt like his music wasn't something he wrote, but something he was rejoining, something eternal. You've got Leonardo da Vinci, who said his inventions felt like déjà vu, like he was just remembering patterns already hidden in nature. The author David Mitchell talks about stories being reincarnations of meaning, that we reawaken when we read them. Even compassion. One of his characters calls it data that gets uploaded to eternity. Just beautiful. All right, so every map has a destination, right? An X that marks the spot. In our final section, we have to ask, what's the end game here? Where does this soul's atlas ultimately lead? So, is enlightenment some far-off destination we have to struggle to reach, like climbing a giant mountain? Or is it something completely different? Maybe it's a homecoming, a return to a state we just forgot we had all along. The Taoist sage Lao Tzu, he made this incredible point. He said the goal isn't to become something new. The goal is to stop striving, to stop trying so hard, and realize you are already there. The journey itself was the illusion. Returning is the only true completion. Okay, but let's be real. The big fear here is, what happens to me? Do I just poof, disappear into the great cosmic soup? Alan Watts had this wonderful way of explaining it. The raindrop doesn't die when it hits the ocean. It just realizes its true identity is the ocean. It was just pretending to be a separate little drop the whole time. And I think Maya Angelou just sums up this entire journey so perfectly. She saw every life as a single note in this huge piece of music. Our goodness, it doesn't vanish, it echoes. And our love, it doesn't fade, it reincarnates. It just keeps showing up again and again. And so that's where we land. After this whole journey, after mapping the cosmos, we find out the entire atlas, the key to eternity. It isn't in some distant star or some future life. It's right here, written in this exact moment. It's in how you choose to live, how you pay attention, how you love. So the only question left for you is, how will you live?